Connor Schellenberger, the precocious freshman who's come of age, looking to keep Virginia on top. Maryland's Jared Bernhardt, a player for all time, can bookend his career with another national title.
Concrete is more than a solid substance. It's also a symbol of strength and endurance. A building block for foundations that last, allowing legacies to grow. Look at these teams. Consider their pedigree. The programs they represent. Their history is here, built on a bedrock of pride. They live up to winning traditions, reach the game's highest ground yet again, through unity of purpose, effort and skill, and motivation that comes from the deepest well. Love for their teammates, their school, and the game.
Feeding the crease, all terrapins.
In a stadium that stands on concrete, like the cornerstones of their success.
The reigning champs, hang on!
These teams will compete for the NCAA Men's Lacrosse National Championship.
Welcome to Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut. It's the national championship in Division I men's lacrosse. Reigning champ Virginia tries to keep the crown in Charlottesville. Maryland eyes perfection and the first undefeated season in 15 years. In the semifinals, Virginia knocked off North Carolina. Maryland obliterated Duke, the preseason favorite, when the year began. And we say good afternoon. Anish Shroff alongside former national champion Quint Kesnick, the barber of Seville, Paul Carcaterra down on the sidelines. Divergent paths for these teams. UVA had to navigate the gauntlet of the ACC, the toughest league we've ever seen. Maryland, through no fault of its own, played a conference-only schedule, but their path to a championship as arduous as we've seen.
The bigger picture here also is you got two foundational programs, the 50th year of this NCAA tournament, a season like no other. Uncertainty, teams had to use common sense, discipline, just an amazing season. Today the finish line is in sight, and that's cause for celebration.
Maryland won it all in 2017. Virginia won it all in 2019. And Kark, when they did, the guy who's their star right now was still in high school.
That indeed, Anish. And Virginia is led by a prodigy freshman who is as polished and technically sound as it gets. Connor Schellenberger in the quarterfinal round against Georgetown had 6 goals. On Saturday in the semis against UNC, he was a dealer with 2 goals and 4 assists. His look-away feeds deceive defenders and teammates cash in. He has tremendous feel, and he can find lanes in the defense with sift-through passes. Who would not want to play with number 1 in blue? And play Schellenberger as a passer, it is hammer time. Virginia's leading scorer is a 3-tool player: an initiator, a passer, and a shooter.
His teammates say he plays like a senior, and he has been sensational with at least 5 points in every NCAA tournament game so far. Jared Bernhardt, the senior for Maryland, Quint, arguably the best to ever wear the Terrapin Red.
An elite high school option quarterback out of Orlando, the ability to read and react, whether it's drawing a double team, eyes up, using his vision. He's got that perceptual expertise. Straight line speed like we haven't seen. I mean, he can accelerate. He is super fast. And then the ability off ball, that is to recognize the pattern of the offense, the cues of the defense, the ability to catch in space and capitalize. Be the best? Well, he is the best.
Bernhardt has been unstoppable in this tournament. 16 goals through the first 3 games. In honor of Memorial Day, we now send it to our public address announcer, Jared Doyon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pratt & Whitney Stadium for today's Division I Men's Lacrosse National Championship between the Virginia Cavaliers and the Maryland Terrapins. As we celebrate Memorial Day, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and to those who support our freedom at home and abroad. Today, the colors are presented by Connecticut Army National Guard, 6th Recruiting and Retention Battalion. And now, please join Sergeant Major Frank May from the United States Army as he leads us in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Lars Tiffany, the head coach at Virginia, led the Cavaliers to a national title in 2019. He carries with him a wooden stick. It's become a talisman of sorts. The last gift from his late father. And Quint, 2 years ago, he was inseparable from that stick during that postseason run.
That stick is the symbol of the roots of this Native American game. It's the medicine game to promote health and strength. Coach running around playing catch, relieving some of the pregame tension.
John Tillman on the other sideline for Maryland, now in his 11th season. 6 times he's now been in this game. Lost in 2011, 12, 15, and 16 before breaking through in 2017.
A relationships-based coach who has built a rock-solid culture. He's all about the details of the scheme. This team delivers effort, and they've got tons of talent.
10 years ago, it was Maryland and Virginia in the national championship game. Virginia won. 2 years ago, when Virginia won the title, they beat Maryland in Long Island in the quarterfinals.
You are shaking too.
Good, huh?
You guys are fist bumping.
All right, gentlemen, afternoon, Dave Pizziaro, Mark McGinnis, Josh Blaisdell, Tim McCaffrey. We're your officials. You guys play hard today, we're going to work even harder for you. Goalie, stop! Go get him, man. All right, Timmy. Okay,
Do it, boss.
A game rooted in connectivity.
We're still waiting, Dave.
All right, make sure you guys show me the tape every time going down.
It begins mano a mano.
All right, fellas, here we go. Down together. Do it right. Good.
Justin Shockey for Maryland, Petey LaSala for Virginia, and the Cavaliers control the opening faceoff. Virginia waits for its offensive personnel. Doc Sakin, 6 and blue, playing his final collegiate game. Highest scoring midfielder in school history. Here comes Jeff Connor down the alley. Now Matt Moore. His shoulders still sore after getting banged up in the semifinal. Trying to maneuver through this Maryland labyrinth. Terps come out in zone. Now man-to-man defense. Moore plays it back. Ian Laviano's shot is off.
It's a man-to-man scheme. The reason it needs to look like a zone is they were so packed in. They're really not getting out on the perimeter and pressing these Virginia Dodgers.
Peyton Cormier initiates against Roman Puglisi. Connor saved by Logan McNaney, who had 17 in the semis. The outlet to Geppert. And Maryland able to clear before Virginia could even set up that Valkyrian ride. Now the Terps on offense, and they can be ruthlessly surgical in the 6-on-6 with their movement and passing. Kyle Long flushes down to X. Anthony DeMeo. He had 4 goals in the quarters against Virginia last year. And the first touch for Bernhardt. Marked by Cade Sostek. Doubled early that time. A chance here for Maryland. Bubba Fairman absorbing the contact, is saved by Alex Rode. A rebound by Bernhardt, turned away again. The 6'7" Cole Kastner's got it, but a loose ball push against Virginia. We get a shot clock reset. Alex Rode in goal for Virginia and Q. He has saved his best in these big games, better than 60% in his last 5 NCAA tournament games.
MVP of the 2019 NCAA tournament. This kid is broken out of his shell off the field. He's continued to develop on it.
Bernhardt got top side, as he does with so much ease, but the shot fell offline. Virginia's got the backup on any shot that goes out of bounds. Closest to the ball when it goes out, awarded possession. Charlie Bertrand, two-time Division II Player of the Year at Merrimack, 41 in blue. Logan McNaney, the sophomore out of Corning, New York, the glass town, in goal for Maryland. 17 saves in that semifinal win against Duke.
Spoke to his mother, Kim, 2 nights ago. Everyone thinks goalies are crazy. She wanted me to know and everyone to know. Logan is normal. He's a normal goalie.
We had to apologize to her because our point of reference tells us otherwise.
Starting early, I see.
Getting physical. Matt Moore turned away. There's Bertrand. Garno has the matchup with Bubba Fairman. Maryland is comfortable with Fairman playing defense. Looking to feed the crease. Xander Dixon's shot not there. Maney able to clamp down.
So far, defense is the main storyline today. Terps packing and impacting shots.
And now Maryland has Dixon caught on defense for Virginia. Clark, it's been a rainy weekend. Field conditions are what?
Props to the grounds crew here. It rained all weekend long. I thought by Monday, the crease area and the face-off dot would be absolute mess, right? It is dry, an unbelievable thick grass surface that's held up extremely well.
Sosted with good defense on Bernhardt. Bernhardt gets it back. Bernhardt left his shot, not much on it. Virginia defending #1 well here in the early minutes.
That was John Fox, the captain. Strong at the point of attack.
This is Peel. Worked out of an ambush, shoots it wide. Virginia the backup. Jack Peel, senior, McLean, Virginia.
Seeing both teams right now defensively. Quick, sliding defensive schemes here. You look at this offense with Dox Aiken and Connor Schellenberger and Matt Moore. Heavy dodge-oriented offense. The Terps packing it in. Quick support and help. And we'll see how quick they're sliding to Bernhardt on the other end.
Dox Aiken gives it up to Matt Moore. 2 years ago, he authored the lone 40-goal, 40-assist season in Virginia's storied history. They get our first penalty flag. Here comes Moore, shoots high, and Virginia will go man up.
These early possessions, both staffs have plans, obviously, but they're probing matchups. Who's got an advantage?
Well, it's on White, number 8, 30-second technical interference.
Virginia goes to the pick game behind the net. You see the pick set, and watch 8 in White. Roman Puglisi just decked the picker. Pick rules in lacrosse very similar to basketball.
Virginia without an extra man goal in this NCAA tournament. 0 for 5. 24 Cormier's been a big threat with the man up. He's camped down near the crease. They get another flag. Ian Laviano has his shot saved. And another penalty coming on Maryland.
Calling it tight. You got to make that adjustment now if you're a player.
White, 43, 30-second technical interference.
That is Brett Makar out of Yorktown, New York.
You're not allowed to check a player in front of the crease, right in the slot area, who doesn't have the ball. And not only did Makar check the Virginia offensive player, but he took the stick out of his hands. An easy call for these officials.
Both teams are combined 0 for 11 shooting. Now Schellenberger.
Giving him the outside shot.
Was 6 on 4 for a few moments, now 6 on 5. Moore's pass knocked down by Geppert. Geppert able to scoop it up. Moore chasing him. Here comes John Geppert. All the way, a bouncer too high. Bernhardt to back up. Who controls the middle of the field could prove vital today.
Clark Geppert's a weapon in transition. He's a former midfielder who picked up the long pole and transitions to that long stick midfield position. He's a junior out of Washington, D.C. He can run the field.
Yeah, he needs to run the field because Virginia can answer now. With guys like Grayson Soliday, those were question marks for the Cavaliers earlier in the season. Now they're becoming answers.
Here's Kyle Long, a dangerous passer as a midfielder. Plays it behind. Daniel Maltz. The first goal of this NCAA championship.
This is a big deal for Maryland. 6 offensive players. There's one guy who primarily plays in the inside. Everyone else is interchangeable. That guy is Daniel Maltz, 37 in white. This time he plays the perimeter. Starts with Kyle Long, who's an exceptional dodger. He got Bernhardt behind, Long up top. They put Maltz in space against his short stick, and he takes advantage and feasts.
That's a situation where the defender, Grayson Soliday, is covering Maltz. He's got to make a decision to either go in front of the goal or cut through the back. He just takes a poor angle, and it gives Maltz a little bit of a head start. The defender's allowed in the crease, Maltz isn't, but you got to cut those angles if you're Soliday.
Petey LaSala wins the faceoff. Over to Matt Moore, a rocket! And Matt Moore gets Virginia even at 1. Petey LaSala quints off the faceoff. It's not just that he wins possessions, he can generate offense.
Tell you, this guy takes it out the front side. He's off to the races. He's a terrific athlete. I think he's got to dominate this game for Virginia to win. I think he's got to be about +8 in the face-off department.
Moore absolutely slings it. That is good news for the Cavaliers because even in warm-ups, he was favoring that left shoulder. He smokes that right.
For his career, 100 goals and 100 assists. One of 5 Cavaliers to accomplish that feat. Shockey punches this up ahead. No push for Maryland. Logan Wisnauskas. He has been Jared Bernhardt's wingman. The soft-spoken senior who began his career at Syracuse. Redshirted there, then transferred to Maryland, and has gotten better every year. Kyle Long again, streaking toward the cage. And Long with a hand in Maryland's first 2 goals. We spoke to him yesterday. He told us he remembers that quarterfinal in 2019.
Quint, you talk about Bernhardt's speed. How about Kyle Long's? He's got the Jets, Q.
He's a catalyst for these Terps. He comes off the bench and gets things done. So many times this season, it's Kyle Long from Springfield, Pennsylvania. No double, he makes him pay.
Virginia found its identity in the quarterfinal. It was physicality. It was a team that said, we're not afraid to be the bully.
It was Jurassic Park. And on the offensive end, Connor Schellenberger, 6 goals.
For Maryland, they travel out to Notre Dame against the best 6 seed maybe in tournament history. Doesn't matter. Anthony DeMeo had the answer in overtime. And then for the Cavaliers, semifinal action, he had 6 goals in the quarters. Connor Schellenberger was amazing in the semis with 2 goals and 4 assists. But the defense, they buckled down, gents.
Virginia held off North Carolina 12-11. Maryland taking on Duke, the Blue Devils, the preseason favorite. Michael Sowers, Brennan O'Neill, none of that mattered. This was over shortly after it started.
Thoroughly dominant in that semifinal win under John Tillman. They're former defensemen. John Tillman played at Cornell. Lars Tiffany played at Brown University. Tillman's first championship experience, I think, was as an assistant back in 2004 for Navy.
Osala wins it forward for Virginia. Toward the cage. He shoots and scores! Petey Lasala, an assist and a goal for Virginia. Not to get bogged down with the advanced statistics, but our friends at Lax Reference came up with a statistic for expected goals added. Lasala is #1 in the country.
Dealing with the pressure, the point man, 43 in white, Brett Makar's a little slow on the scene. We've seen Petey do this all season long. He's a bowling ball running downhill. You must respect 23 in blue.
He was an offensive midfielder in high school. He's so comfortable in the middle of the field. He's played both ends his whole life. If you remember in 2019, statistically, T.D. Erlin from Yale, he got the best of him. But Lasala with those 2 second-half goals right off the face, those are complete juice goals.
And Lars Tiffany recruited Petey Lasala. He could not get a hotel, so he slept in his car to watch Lasala play. He calls it one of his better decisions.
When Petey wins draws, it's usually out the front, which has got great rewards associated with winning those face-offs because they get transition opportunities. So not all face-off wins are created equal.
Eric Molliver, the freshman from Atlanta, part of the second midfield now for Maryland. Includes a couple of transfers. Eric Holden, who's got the ball, and Griffin Brown. Holden from Hobart, Brown from Colgate. Wisnowskis out from behind. Alex Rode had hopped out of the cage, now back in there. Brown, who's had a big postseason, that one hits the pipe.
Looks like Virginia's slow to double team, forcing Maryland to beat him unassisted. Man, that was a good look. Rode caught a break.
Virginia has to get it across midfield before that shot clock hits 60. 80-second shot clock initiates on change of possession. 20 seconds to get it over midfield, and you can go over and back, but only in the first 20 seconds. A couple of MLB games coming on ESPN later today. Red Sox, Astros at 4. Pirates, Royals follow at 8. Doc Aiken, who spent the fall at Villanova hoping to play football for the Wildcats. Did not have a season, came back to Virginia in the spring. An ankle issue earlier in the season. Has scored so many clutch goals in his career for UVA.
Good matchup for Schellenberger.
He's got the short stick Kaufman. Schellenberger gets free. McNaney denies the angle.
Should have taken an extra step there. He had the separation. There was no double team. Schellenberger could have canned that.
Here's Maltz. Now Bernhardt has his man hung up. Feeding to cutting Kaufman. 3-2 Maryland.
It's a game of millimeters. When you're a goaltender, you're always looking for perfection. You're living on that edge between failure and success. A game of millimeters. Doink off the post. At the other end, McNaney stands tall. The lefty shuts the door, and Maryland scores an early offense.
Joshua Kaufman, one of the 3 short stick defenders for the Terps, who feel comfortable in transition shooting the ball. Alex Smith, Roman Puglisi, these are guys that can make plays, and they're not in a rush to get off the field to have those offensive middies relieve them because they can handle the rock.
I tell you, McNaney looks poised from up here, Paul, and a clean save is a dangerous outlet. He'll punish you when he can catch that ball.
Yeah, he's so calm, relaxed. He is a second-year player. Obviously, he hasn't played in a tournament, with the season being cut short in 2020 in COVID. But when I spoke to his mom, Kim, he said such a relaxed kid and easygoing. It's been an absolute joy to raise him. In the summertime, they actually work together, too. They work at a mobile pizza truck, making pies upstate New York and Corning and eating pizza. Who would want to do that?
If you had 5 minutes in the first quarter for the first food reference, you win. Peter Garneau, Ian Laviano. Laviano, one of 4 Cavaliers with 100+ career goals. The matchup here for Schellenberger against Roman Puglisi, who spins him around.
Good defense by Puglisi.
Matt Moore with a bouncer. McNaney's there. Both of Virginia's goals came unsettled off of faceoffs. There's Makar. Moore trailing him. And McNaney's outlets have been on point. Virginia hasn't even had a chance to ride.
Sharp in between the pipes is McNaney. And you got to file that away if you're Virginia and focus on shot selection. I'll tell you one thing the Cavs are doing well, moving off ball, creating some matchups for Schellenberger.
Here's Wisnowskis, nicknamed Groot. Does not say a whole lot. Long, a goal and an assist, and now Bernhardt from up top against the short stick Merle. They get it back to Bernhardt. Swift as a shadow. Bernhardt feeds Wisnowskis. Bounce shot to score.
Groot rips it. so much attention when one in white has the ball. Virginia knows it's red alert, it's double time. Who's supporting this matchup? Well, he's flanked by some pretty good goal scorers. You see the adjacent slide by Kaloji leaves Logan Wisnauskas in his comfort zone. This is his money spot.
This team shoots 40% for a reason. Bernhardt draws all sorts of double teams. They have the ability to move and make the extra pass, and guys nail their mid-range shots.
Asala wins it forward. That's when Virginia's been dangerous today. Flips it back to Schellenberger. 6-on-6, Quint, what does Virginia have to do better?
Still looking for answers in the 6-on-6, as you said, 2 face-off goals. They've gotten some matchups with Schellenberger. He's been able to move and generate switches, but from those scenarios, Maryland has held tough inside.
Jeff Connor now, a former top 5 recruit. Down the alley. Back to X and Matt Moore. Laviano, no angle. Gebert defended him well. Aiken gets the pick.
Maryland doing a good job off those double teams of covering up.
Here comes Connor. Puglisi sends him back to the end line. Connor will dodge on Puglisi again. How about the defense by Roman Puglisi, one of the best short stick defensive midfielders in the country.
He's a rock.
Jeff Connor, and that one slipped in.
Eventually, he gets an edge on Puglisi, but not much. From a severe angle, although he's tight to the net, Paul. He's about 7 yards. And watch this ricochet off the goaltender.
You know, Quint, a lot of midfielders, when they're going down the alley, want their stick to their outside, their left hand. But Connor knows, by keeping his angle and keeping his feet upfield and bringing that stick back to his right, it increases his angle, so outstanding awareness.
Breakout year for Connor this season, who's always been known for his textbook fundamentals.
A non-factor early in the season and then emerged after the first 4 or 5 games. Here's Jared Connors, the midfielder of the year as a long stick, and he has a trail checked away. Virginia now in its ride. McNaney, as we said, a dangerous outlet passer. Has to get it across midfield before that clock hits 60. Makar shovels it forward, and there's the Virginia ride with the turnover. Schellenberger the other way to Moore. Thought about it, back to Schellenberger, step down missile.
Laviano's worth his weight in gold.
The 10-man ride, Lacrosse's version of the full court press. Alex Rode, the goalie, comes out of the net and they roll up field. It's man-to-man all over the field. And look at Laviano, 3 and blue, go to work. Gets the ball on the carpet. Makar panics. Ball comes up, Cavs. They're off to the races.
Moore knows he's got the best shooter on the team, Connor Schellenberger. Plants his feet. Shell you later.
8 goals in this game by 8 different players. We're tied at 4.
And the 2 themes that emerge, if you're Virginia, face-off goals, transition goals off the ride. It looks like Maryland has the advantage in settled sets in this game.
Yeah, that's the game. Virginia loves chaos. They always have. This becomes a 6-on-6 game. The advantage tilts to Maryland.
Remember when we talked to Coach Tiffany early in the season, I think it was late February, one of the first things he said is, we're looking for ways to disrupt.
Lars Tiffany, fascinating head coach. There's a contrarian side to him. When the world is going left, he'll go right. He's always tinkering, and he's admitted sometimes too much, but always finding that next edge, that next market inefficiency, if you will.
So they create disruption with the ride.
Virginia can hold for a final possession. 25 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Tied at 4. Charlie Bertrand coming around X. Saved by McNaney. 10 seconds to go. Geppert's pass out of bounds. 2.7 seconds to go. Virginia ball.
Fire this for the net.
Garno puts it on Cage. Picked off by Puglisi. Quarter number 1 of this 2021 National Championship comes to an end. Maryland seeking the first undefeated season since 2006. Virginia looking to stay on top of the college lacrosse world. A stalemate after 15 minutes.
Virginia, Maryland knotted at 4 apiece as we head to the second quarter. Chris Cotter and Paul Carcaterra down here on the field. Park, it seemed like in that first quarter, both teams were playing their games.
Well, look, chaos favors Virginia. Petey LaSalle at the X. He's not the guy that just wins faceoffs. Offense is created off the draw. And you look at what they're doing in the ride. I mean, Virginia's relentless. I think for Maryland, calm favors them. They can be surgical. They can score 15, 16 goals by playing half field. Can they handle the pressure of Virginia's ride? That's going to be critical.
Speaking of surgical, in HQ, Clark was surgical on those haircuts this week. You guys look great.
Clark was the team barber. Got me, got Quint, and got Cotter.
The money I saved from the haircut, I donated to One Love. 44321. Text
haircut.
Text haircut to 44321. Anisha's big cut.
Tied at 4 as we begin quarter number 2 of this national championship.
We got a good one. We got a good one today. You know, the heat not being a factor, temperatures in the 50s, it was cool for the semis. I think we're going to see the best from both teams today. In some years past, Anish, these teams have been damaged goods on Memorial Day.
Off to a promising start. A face-off violation, though, for Virginia here to begin the second quarter. The Cavaliers still with a 7-3 edge at the face-off dot.
Go back to 2011, these two teams met in the finals. Temperatures on the field were around 100.
Bubba Fairman, senior from Sandy, Utah. Now it's Bernhardt. In the midst of the greatest season in Terps history. Bernhardt to the cage. Will it count? It will not. He was in the crease. Bernhardt has had 5 goals at least in every tournament game so far. None today, but he does have 2 assists. There's Doc Sakin feeding inside to Peyton Cormier, the Oakville Ox.
Jared Bernhardt was a high school option quarterback. Calls his own number, clearly in the crease.
You know, if you look at Doc Sakin and the maturation of his game, it's the passing. He's been a lethal goal scorer his entire career, top scoring midfielder in Virginia history, but he knows when you have guys inside, like Peyton Cormier, and Maryland's gonna slide to Dox, forcing him as a passer, and he answers.
That's going to be a staple half-field pattern for Virginia the rest of the way. That high, long dodge off the corner there. You've got an exchange, which changes the matchup for Schellenberger, and you got to look inside to Cormier. So the nuanced fan, you'll see that again, is what I'm saying.
Luke Weirman-Kark has given Maryland a bit of a lift at the face-off X. He had some clutch wins at the end of that Notre Dame game.
Absolutely. And that was a game statistically where the Terps really suffered at the X, but he won the big ones. He won the overtime face-off.
Griffin Brown. Bernhardt shadowed by Kate Sawstead, who nearly erased Jackson Morrill in the 2019 championship. Morrill, the star for Yale. Sawstead, a freshman then. Eric Molliver. He's got the 6'7" Kastner on him. Project 39, a late season revelation for Virginia. Kastner checks it loose. Thundering downfield, Cole Kastner all the way, shoots and scores! And the Virginia bench erupts! How many teams, Quint, can unearth a future first-team All-American in the late stages of the season?
Tell you this defense, Jurassic Park, 6'7", 6'5", 6'4". Digging in, winning some matchups. Ball on the carpet, take off and get out. They run.
That was Jared Connors.
They run from D to O. It's Connors, the National Media of the Year. Pump fake to the point man, and Carton, the kid doesn't miss.
It's unbelievable. There's only 2 long stick midfielders in the last decade that have been National Midfielders of the Year. Joe White from Syracuse in 2011. Jared Connors in 2021 for Virginia, and that is the exact reason he creates absolute mayhem in the middle of the field.
Four unanswered by Virginia, the reigning champs with a 2-goal lead. It was Jared Connors, 28, not 39. All these Virginia defensemen are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and the scoring run, Quint, after this Jeff Connor goal, it was Virginia capitalizing off a little chaos.
I think that's part of the appeal of this great sport of lacrosse. They use the ride, the full court press, cause the turnover, and then they run in transition.
Dox finds Cormier inside with the bread and butter of the Cavaliers. Hit him in transition. Maryland is so good 6-on-6. They're a well-oiled machine. When you have an opportunity in the middle of the field, you capitalize.
And to clarify, the goal was Connors, the 20th of his career. Senior captain.
Yep. Good down.
Game-changing long stick midi. Face-off violation on Maryland. Both teams now with 1 apiece. You get 3.5. The opposition goes man up for 30 seconds.
Petey LaSalla continues to be a big storyline.
He's got the ball now. He's got Weirman behind the cage. Let's see if LaSalla stays on.
Weirman has to make a decision. Does he sit inside and let LaSalla run off and sub, or does he hang out on the fringes here?
Puglisi all over Aiken. Moore couldn't pick it up off the bounce, rolling to the end line. And we're going to get a push against Aiken, loose ball push. So Maryland ball, and the Terps catch a break.
McNeely's done great work in the tournament, Park, running from his crease and making plays on loose balls.
Now Bernhardt looking on Sawstead. Bernhardt reverses field. His man hung up. Rode out of the cage. Bernhardt turning the corner. And Sawstead prevents topside with that 6'5" frame. Football player in high school out of Texas.
Ball movement and people movement. Signatures of this Maryland offense.
Long working on Connors. Anthony DeMeo, he had the game winner in overtime to beat Notre Dame. Tony Time, the clutch goals that he's accounted for in his career. Short stick matchup for Wisnauskas. Will attack Merle. Big size advantage for Wisnauskas. He's a lefty, gets that left hand free, missed the mark.
Biggest area of improvement for Virginia's defense this year, the play of their short stick defensive midfielders.
They played their best game collectively as Bernhardt misfires. Played their best game collectively in the semis against North Carolina. Grayson Soliday especially.
Merle, Soliday, John Fox, 34 in blue.
Shot clock expires. Virginia's defense has evolved and improved as this season has worn on. We mentioned getting Kastner into the mix. We talked about the short sticks. Sawstead getting healthy. NCAA postseason coverage continues in Oklahoma City. It's the Women's College World Series. It all begins Thursday, June 3rd, noon Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on all the NCAA championships, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Schellenberger, his second. Wow, he is mobbed by his teammates.
That's reps, man. Picked up a stick when he was 1 year old. Father Scott fueled his passion. He never played lacrosse. He was a golfer at Marshall. 200, 300 balls a day. Righty, lefty, in the backyard. Finding a field to hone his craft, and this is why. Look at the accuracy on that. That is amazing on a lefty goalie, Quint. Look where he places this.
I tell you, he's putting it all together. He watches a ton of tape. He puts the time in, and that allows him to play free on game day and play an instinctual brand.
We had a chance to spend a lot of time with his dad, Scott. And if we talk amongst ourselves afterwards and say, who was your favorite parent of this weekend, and why was it Scott Schellenberger?
I think he gets his hand-eye coordination from Dad, who was a terrific golfer. I think he gets his speed from his mom.
I think Big Shelly's got wheels. 5'11", 260. He told me he's the fastest 5'11", 260 guy in the state of Virginia.
I wonder what the rest of the field looks like, though.
Shelly is in our Hall of Fame. That is the dad. All-timer, championship weekend parent.
Virginia tried the old hidden ball trick. Cormier had it, now it's Aiken. This is the long dodge that Lars Tiffany talked about. Aiken's shot altered by Alex Smith, part of that armada of D-middies that Maryland rolls out.
The long dodge starts up top from 20 or plus yards. Really gives the ball handler a time to see the double team evolve.
More bouncer, Connor! The run continues. That's 6 in a row for Virginia.
Terps on their heels. Tillman eyeing up the big board. What happened? It's not on the iPad. It's an effort deal right now. Maryland's a little flat-footed, Paul, standing around like cones.
They are, and Virginia's got the sharpshooters. McNaney is a lefty. Look at the placement on the last two shots. Schellenberger hit that near pipe. And then this time on the opposite side of the offensive zone, it's far lower pipe, unsavable.
And then down. 6.
Osala and Weirman again. A big face-off win for Maryland. Bernhardt fires and scores. There is a steely cold efficiency to Jared Bernhardt's game.
20 and white, Geppert. Talked about him earlier. I think he's a future pro player in Premier Lacrosse League. His game continues to grow. And there's Bernhardt. Mid-range excellence.
He ices it, and Geppert now has 2 huge plays in transition for the Terps. They need 20 to be that answer. Connors for Virginia has been able to strike from end to end. The matchup between Connors and Geppert will dictate this game.
70 goals on the season for Bernhardt. He's Maryland's all-time leader in goals and points. He has set the single-season record this year for goals and points. And his 17 NCAA tournament goals in this postseason, tied for 3rd all-time in a single postseason. The record, 19. Chris Cloutier did it back in 2016. He played for UNC. Furman, little locker step to his left, gives it up to Long. Now Bernhardt. Here comes Bernhardt. This one turned away. It'll reset the shot clock. Any shot that goes in, hits the goalie, or hits the pipe, will reset the shot clock. Long lost his man, can't finish. Another shot clock reset, possession to Maryland.
Virginia.
14 to go first half.
Virginia needs a timeout. Defense getting tired. Multiple resets. Lars Tiffany steps out to give his defense a breather. I tell you, during the pandemic, our man Anish Shroff went from having a nice head of hair to having one of the most epic and gigantic heads of hair. Let it ride all season until yesterday. For the One Love Foundation, yesterday, Paul Carcaterra.
A lot of neglect for a long period of time went into growing this out. This started in March of last year. A couple of cleanups, but we let it grow, and we are about to chop it off.
It had a good run, had a great run.
Yeah, it became almost like its own little entity.
We figured, hey, let's cut it. Let's raise some money for charity. And Kark and I got with the people at One Love. They've been tremendous. The proceeds go to help relationship abuse. So the locks, unfortunately, have to go. It's for a good cause. And we're thankful that we can partner with the people at One Love. Look at this, you made me respectable. I can re-enter society.
Yes, you can, you can. Look like $1 million.
Hey, and we raised a lot of money for a great cause. One Love, check it out. joinonelove.org/haircut if you want to donate.
You went from the history professor at a liberal arts college to like a tech entrepreneur. We're working out in the valley out in California. What a transformation.
Listen, I know this has become such a sideshow, but I want to thank a couple of people. One, the folks at One Love, Dana Boyle, who put us in touch with One Love, Kark for cutting the hair, but also the lacrosse community for your donations. This is a great cause. I know certainly with Virginia playing today, that is a cause near and dear to so many at UVA. So for all this and all the chatter that came with it, I'm glad we could turn it into something positive.
Have a lot of fun. while it's going. Now look at the before and after. That shot on the left is absolutely epic.
And you can still donate. Just go to the website there at the bottom of your screen, joinonelove.org/haircut. We have raised about $15,000 so far. And Kark, if you do want to start your own salon, there are clients, future clients, peppered all throughout Rentschler Field.
Look, I've been cutting hair since 5th grade, and my mom, my late mom, Diane Carcaterra, who always would push me to follow passions and dreams, and I always loved to cut hair. She said one day I should open a salon called Paul David. David's my middle name.
Put with John in front of it. John Paul David. Now you've got the street cred.
I like Carmine's Cuts.
Carmine's Cuts.
Cash only.
That was a real tough job because it was a makeover. It wasn't just like your typical, okay, visit to the barber shop, same style. It was a makeover. I needed a weed whacker.
You did good, buddy. You did good.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Fairman rolls back. Nothing there.
I love that timeout.
There's Bernhardt. He scores again. Indomitable, invincible. A one-man wrecking crew this season.
You could see the impact of the timeout that Coach Tiffany took, and it looked like things were going well. They had their legs. They were defending on the perimeter. But Bernhardt has done it once again. Off ball, he continues to move. He presents a target, and a strike is delivered.
It's the little subtleties, Quinn. Everyone knows Bernhardt around the perimeter. He's lethal with the speed. But off ball, Soliday turns his head for a fraction of a second. Bye-bye.
A 6-0 run by Virginia, now countered with a pair of Bernhardt goals to make it 8-6.
Maryland's unbeaten for a reason. You're seeing that right now.
Weirman is mucking it up at the face-off X. Maryland getting its wings involved. Big ground ball here. Weyer had it for Virginia. Geppert knocked it loose. It's kicked ahead. Puglisi vacuums for Maryland and drops it off for Bernhardt. 2 goals, 2 assists. Running start. Loses Sawstead. There's a sense of impending doom when Bernhardt's got a running start. Maltz really cranked it. The last team to go undefeated, Virginia in 2006. Maryland looking to do the same. Brown on the doorstep, cashes in. 3 straight for the Terps.
Terp Nation's feeling it. We hear you. He's panicked. Griffin Brown has a lot of lacrosse experience, and it shows. Big-time scorer from Colgate. Knows how to play away from the ball, known as an outside shooter, but like Bernhardt, is crafty and nifty inside. Tiptoes the crease area.
That was close. Super close as the second midfield continues to shine in the postseason. Great body control. That crease is a 9-foot radius. Offensive players are not allowed in. You're not allowed to step on the line either.
3 goals in 3 minutes.
That'll count.
That counts.
What a
That's
play.
good.
What a play.
The face-off game has changed in the second quarter. Maryland has won 4 of 7. And Weirman wins another one. The Terps have Virginia playing a lot of defense. Weirman scored his first career goal earlier in this NCAA tournament.
He's been a surprise for John Tillman. They expected Connor Calderon to be their backup, the guy who's appeared on Team USA under 19. But Weirman, sophomore from Pennsylvania, originally committed to Fairfield. Andy Copeland, the head coach, left, ends up at Maryland. and he's been athletic, able to adjust to the new rules.
In 2017, John Garino came off the bench as the third face-off guy and it provided a spark for Maryland in their championship run. He was the unsung hero. Merle, the big check, jars it loose. Up ahead, there's Connors, 1 goal already today. Looking for Cormier. Maryland has to get it across midfield before that shot clock hits 60, and Makar does. Brett Makar, first team All Big Ten, down there on defense with Nick Grill, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Bernhardt, the slam dunk Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. And a timeout by John Tillman. 3:38 to go in this first half. Virginia used a 6-0 run to take an 8-4 lead. Maryland has responded with 3 straight to get to 8-7 in what has been a fun, exciting, closely contested national championship game. Now we have some special guests for you at halftime today. Chris Cotter, who's standing beside you and towering over you.
Yeah. Anish, I got West Hartford, Connecticut's own Mike Golick Jr. here. We're essentially going to be the meat inside this championship game sandwich at halftime. Kark is going to join us. We're going to talk about the first half. We're going to talk about that historic women's championship game yesterday. Being this close to the field goal, man, you really get a sense of how physical that play is out there, don't you?
It's been unbelievable that Virginia run dominated in between here as they set a physical tone on a Maryland team that came out swinging themselves before getting checked by a couple of penalties. It's been fast, it's been furious, we're just getting started.
Yeah, it's been a game of runs in the first half. So Kark will join us at the half. We'll talk about it, guys. Until then, they'll back up to you in the booth.
All right, appreciate it, fellas. 3:38 to go in this first half. They've got the hyper ice going on. Luke Weirman, you ever used one of those?
Those things are amazing. I use them at hockey every year. Didn't have those back in the day, Anish. Tell you, Maryland has really answered the bell after that Virginia run. They make a change at the face-off, and that's led to more possessions. Bernhardt has become a big factor.
Gebert in transition off the draw, finding Bernhardt. And then Wisnauskas. Usually we see Bernhardt to Wisnauskas, the other way around. And then the second midfield coming through. Holden to Griffin Brown.
This Maryland team has answered the bell all season long. One of their signatures has been goal-scoring runs. They dominated play in the Big Ten, but there were moments where they had deficits. The Big Ten final, they were down to Johns Hopkins 9-6. So they're battle-tested.
Maryland has had at least a 5-0 run in every game this season.
That's a separator. I mean, Kark, you know when you can lean on an offense for that kind of explosiveness, it's almost as if they have a knockout punch.
Had a chance to tie here with 3.5 to go in the first half. Why not give it to Bernhardt? They'll get a running start. Sostad spun around.
Field level, it's almost unfair how fast he is. Sostad is like an all-state Texas football player. You see how Bernhardt just spins him.
Shot clock at 3. Bernhardt shoots offline. Virginia ball. I liked what John Danowski told us before the semifinals, the Duke head coach, telling us that Duke recruited Jared Bernhardt and they recruited him off his football film.
High school option quarterback, so used to that dive, whether it's the give, the keep, or the pitch, the ability to Read and react with your eyes in one place, the body control that comes with that. I think the greats in this sport, Ryan Boyle, Tommy Shriver, Doug Shanahan. Option quarterback football prepares you so well for the demands of lacrosse.
Kark, the guy that the coaches were comparing Bernhardt to was somebody you played with. One of the all-time greats, Casey Powell.
Yeah, I mean, look, they move very similarly. I mean, you have to look at the way they glide, right? It looks effortless when they approach the defense, right? It's soft on their feet. They glide. They get to top side at ease. The difference between Powell and Bernhardt, Powell had a little more creativity in his game, but from a lethal dodging one-on-one standpoint, it's there, man. Bernhardt is ridiculous. He's an all-time great dodging attackman, hands down.
Big save by McNaney on the Laviano shot. Alex Smith across the midfield line. 39 in white. His dad, DeMorris Smith, the head of the NFL Players Association. Bernhardt just kicks a stray ball out of bounds. Gets inside, he's in the crease. It's back to Virginia, 1:29 to go in the half.
Great defense by Sawstead, the tall righty.
Close the gap. Chopped down his top side, right? He was beat at first, but he worked so hard to get across the back of the goal mouth and get to that top side.
Virginia wisely uses its final timeout with 1:11 to go in this half. Quint, you mentioned Jared Bernhardt's football prowess. He was set to play at Ferris State this fall before their season went away. An option quarterback, and as John Danowski told us, this is a football player playing lacrosse.
Every D1 lacrosse coach in the country took a shot at Bernhardt. He got an offer from Navy to play option quarterback. The one he really wanted was Georgia Tech, but here he is at the University of Maryland, and you see how those skills correlate onto the lacrosse field. He's the last of the Bernhardt trio of brothers. His oldest, Jesse, a Team USA player and now defensive coordinator at Maryland. Jake is an assistant coach and a very good one at Vermont. The mom, Catherine, is here. They lost their dad, Jim, in the summer of 2019. Jimmy Bernhardt was my defensive coordinator in high school football way back when, before going on to coach at Hofstra Brown, UCF. He coached at Penn State with Bill O'Brien, and then for the Houston Texans. And Jimmy Bernhardt was a big part of John Tillman's early years as a Maryland head coach.
John Tillman, Kark, telling us that when Bernhardt arrived back in 2017, that was the year Maryland won the title, and they had Matt Rambo and Colin Heacock and Connor Kelly. And Tillman thought that even then, with those stars, Bernhardt deferred too much. And he has gotten away from that. And he might not be the rah-rah type of vocal alpha, but on the field, when he's had to be, he's become the alpha this year, and he's taken charge, and he's taken over games.
Unequivocally. You see it in his eyes. You don't hear him. You see his body language, his passion, his compete level. I met him when he was in middle school. He's with his brothers Jake and Jesse down at a camp in Florida, and watching him play lacrosse as a young teenager even, you just knew he was different. Different kind of an athlete, different kind of a compete level.
Great matchup here. Nick Grill, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, against Connor Schellenberger, Virginia's best player in this NCAA tournament. Highest scoring freshman in the country, #1 recruit out of high school, red-shirted last year. Why? He and Lars Tiffany agreed on it, and Virginia felt it had so much depth they could afford to redshirt Schellenberger. Schellenberger to Cormier. He's from Canada. Great hands, great in tight quarters.
Big body helps as well. You draw that up to perfection. Clock and game management. They drain the clock. Pick set for Schellenberger. Brill stays with him, but Cormier with the well-timed cut. He's being covered by a midfield defender. The Oakville Ox just too big, Park. This guy goes 6'3", 200 pounds.
What a combination. Schellenberger 21 in blue, Cormier 24 in blue, and here is the frightening thing. Eligibility-wise, those two guys are freshmen.
I said 200. By now, it's more like 240.
Stop the feet!
Now Bernhardt, 15 seconds. Charging toward the cage. Wisnowski's from his sweet spot. 10 seconds to go. Bernhardt will trigger.
Someone's got to be ready to help.
Bernhardt trying to get around Sawstead. There's the slide. Fairman shoots. Shot blocked. And the first half of this national championship comes to an end. A high-scoring affair. Virginia with a 9-7 lead. Bernhardt, a couple of goals, a couple of assists. Schellenberger, 2 goals and an assist for Virginia.
That was something else. That was a terrific, terrific half. We saw settled sets. We saw transition. It had a little bit of everything that makes this game so awesome.
Virginia won it all in 2019, looking to keep the crown. Maryland, if they can rally in the second half, would cap a perfect season. Down to Paul.
Coach, what were you talking to the official about?
Oh, hey, hi, what'd you have for breakfast? Great to see you again, Dave. You know, I used to coach at Brown. I was a New England guy, and it's good to see the New England officials.
You know, this Maryland defense has been so strong throughout the course of the year. You put 9 on them, though, in the first half. How?
Well, it started with the transition. It took a while to start to crack what they're doing defensively. We're blessed to have the best young offense coordinator of the game, Sean Kerwin, and so our first couple goals were by Pico Lasala getting us our transition game going. But from there, Sean was able to analyze what they're doing. They're trying to do some 2-pole. They're putting the shorts on Peyton, and then Connor Schellenberger he just does such a great job running the show, understanding what the defense is going to take away and what they're going to give us.
How have you seen the face-off game change in that first half?
Yeah, obviously Shockey, Petey was able to have a lot of success against Shockey, but then 52 came in, and he's really done a nice job. Now, granted, we had the 2 violations, so Petey had to be cautious. So we're really excited to be back to the reset.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, fellas.
Lars Tiffany's team with 9 goals in the first half. Maryland gives up 10 a game. We'll come back with halftime. A star-studded crew. Kark, Cotter, and Mike Golick Jr. That's coming your way next. 9-7 Virginia on top. Two of the top 4 scoring offenses in the country have delivered a torrent in the first half. 16 goals through 30 minutes. We'll be back to break down the first half and get you set for quarter number 3. We are 30 minutes away from crowning a champion, something we could not do a season ago. Dave Schropp, Quinn Kesnick, Paul Carcaterra with you, about ready for the start of quarter number 3. Oftentimes these championship games played on short rest don't live up to the billing. Not today.
Yeah, this one's had incredible tempo, frantic actions, had a little bit of everything in terms of styles. And I think going forward, whichever team can dictate the style of play that is Maryland in half-field sets, Virginia up and down, scoring off of face-offs and transition, will ultimately win.
Virginia had a big 6-0 run, but Maryland closing that first half strong. They got 3 straight before Virginia came through at the end. Maryland on offense first as we check in with Kark.
You know, you see this offense from Maryland. Coach Tillman didn't really like the way they weren't moving the ball. They're known for a team to move the ball at hyper speed, and Bernhardt obviously is their initiator, their lethal dodger. But the pieces of the puzzle, we saw it against Duke on Saturday. That ball was moving so quickly, so crisply. He wants to see that as part of their offense in this second half. And then defensively, getting back in transition. Too many opportunities for Virginia to hit from defense to offense.
Luke Weirman's play, a big bonus for Virginia in that first half. He's won 7 of 12 faceoffs. Wisnauskas against Kyle Koloji. Logan Wisnauskas wins the matchup. It's 9-8.
Every time you try to label Logan Wisnauskas a feet set mid-range shooter from the left wing, he unveils a layer to his game. Able to run downhill, shield his stick, show his great size to get to pay dirt.
What he does so well, Quint, how he uses his shoulders. That's how he gets separation. He doesn't have the quickest feet in the world. He's not a straight line fast dodger. He uses his shoulders to lean, but also protect the stick and increase his angle.
We have a withholding call on Maryland, so Virginia ball. That was the 20th faceoff. 11 for Virginia, 9 for Maryland. Maryland is right in the vicinity of 50%. That bodes well for the Terps.
Big discussion on the far sideline between the official and the Maryland coaching staff, asking for some clarification. Standing neutral grip, the ball, you have to make a move on the ball, and the ball must be raked out. The word is immediately.
How about the individual effort by Doc Sakin?
Where's Docs? Well, he's showing up in East Hartford. First half, he dissected the Maryland defense, felt the pressure in a slide, became a passer. This time around, no slide, it's pay dirt for Docs. If you watch the way he sets up his dodge here, quick left to right, losing his angle, and then goes back to the left, because by going back to the left, that gives him the better angle to beat McNaney.
The most productive midfielder in Virginia lacrosse history, playing in his last game. That's game 77, a long ride. 4 years away, he flirted with playing football at Villanova. He's back to finish it off, guiding the younger guys and making a huge play when it counts.
7 different goal scorers now for UVA. Weirman and LaSala to battle again. Ground ball to Grayson Saladay. He picked up 8 ground balls in the semifinal win, had a couple of caused turnovers as well.
When LaSala starts winning faceoffs out the front side, defensively you have to send a winger in to crash and protect against the fast break, which leaves Virginia wingers able to run free, and they don't have an opponent on their hip.
Aiken again, working on Joshua Kaufman. Matt Moore, out of Cormier. Has the matchup on Matt Rahill. Cormier looking to dump it off. It comes back to Schellenberger. Good look here. Jeff Connor. A hat trick for Connor on the biggest stage.
Quint, watch how fast Schellenberger picks this ball up and knows where the next man is. Cormier tries to shovel it inside the Laviano. In one motion, pick the ball up, pick the next man.
Make the extra pass. This was a Virginia team early in the season playing hero ball on offense. They weren't sharing it. It was getting stagnant in sticks. And then something clicked in that win. A big win against Carolina. Hockey assists, making the extra look. The one more feed.
Weirman and Saladay in a battle for it. Rolling toward the sideline, Nick Brill, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Anthony DeMeo. Long, feeding the cutter. It's Wisnauskas. A hat trick for Groot.
Ball movement. Watch how quick the ball's in and out of sticks.
That's what we saw against Duke on Saturday. Ball moves at hyperspeed and the versatility of Wisnauskas, who earlier created his own offense down the alley. And when it comes down to it, that's his sweet spot. That high lefty wing, he's automatic.
Goals now in this NCAA tournament.
Down. Straighten it up, right. Set.
Another face-off won by Maryland. Here comes Puglisi. Puglisi cranks and scores!
Goalie Alex Rhodes, a veteran. I thought the level change from Wisnauskas buckled him and handcuffed him. He didn't see this last shot as effectively as you'd like also. There's really no movement towards the ball. Alex Rhodes has played in a ton of lacrosse games and at an extremely high level. He's got to find himself right now, and he's got to organize this Virginia defense. His body language and posture is critical. You can't show signs of weakness right now. You just got to hit the reset button.
They're daring Roman to shoot. Puglisi lives about an hour from College Park. Tight-knit Italian family. Eats dinner on Sundays. Mom Stella's chicken parm, 2 p.m. Go for seconds. Laundry's done, back to College Park.
Marsala wins this out front. Driving through traffic. Gets hit. It's knocked loose. Maryland had it. And now a whistle. It belongs to the Terps, and Maryland's bench popping up.
Mosh pit. That group brings the juice every week.
Both teams with 7 different goal scorers.
Left side of your screen, watch LaSalle get triple teamed. Jacked up.
Wisnauskas moving around the perimeter. Fairman. Now it's DeMeo from X. The cutter not there. 5th-year senior from San Diego gives it up. Long to the wing. Wisnauskas again looking for his 4th. Stick checked away. Wisnauskas able to recover. Feeding in front behind the back Maltz. 20 to shoot. Wisnauskas again. Gets to his sweet spot. Shot blocked. Connors vacuums.
Good ride.
Virginia in some trouble. They've got to get it across, not much time. Dixon, that's failure to clear. And that's going to be a delay of game, at least it should be. That's what John Tillman is saying.
What is John Tillman doing at 10 yards on the field?
Oh, that should have been a delay of game. Dixon dumped it back.
Heated on the benches. Referees made the right call. But John Tillman is not the 4th official on this crew, and he's got to stay on the sideline.
Rode out of the cage. He gets back in. It's too late. Logan Wisnauskas with his fourth. And a brand new ball game with 9:11 to go.
Keep feeding him the rock. He's hot. You gotta love the complementary parts for Maryland. And in certain areas, they're elite. Logan Wisnauskas is an All-American. He's a lefty that can absolutely unload. In the variety of places he's doing it within the offensive set. This is the chameleon offense where everyone can play anywhere on this offense, Quinn.
And ball movement under the direction of offensive coordinator Bob Benson creates all sorts of stress defensively. We've seen Wisnauskas normally on that left wing. He curls across the formation.
All right, fellas, here we go. Down. Sit.
Face-off violation on Maryland. Virginia ball.
Virginia's got to find a second win. Still tons and tons of time.
Still plenty of time, and already a high-scoring third quarter. 6 goals. Not even 7 minutes in. Charlie Bertrand. All this guy does is win championships in his career.
Player Merrimack, he's playing in his 4th NCAA championship game. 3 of those at the D2 level.
Won back-to-back titles in 2018 and 19. Xander Dixon, he's been an invert option for Virginia. Now Moore marked by Makar. Gets the pick from Dixon. Moore, skip pass to Garno. Firing a rocket! Peter Garno from Matt Moore, Virginia back on top.
That's a strong answer for the second midfield unit. Garno, a high-level shooter with both hands. Man, he's got some velocity when he sets his feet. McNaney gets a piece. Not enough.
Give so much credit to Matt Moore. He's playing hurt. Every time he shoots or passes, you see that left shoulder dragging. He is gutting it out.
Brilliant skip pass to lob that over the defense through sticks and put it on the money.
Virginia at its best is when Matt Moore facilitates. Face-off violation on Virginia.
It should be a 2-quarterback system for Lars Tiffany and the offensive coordinator Sean Kerwin. You've got Schellenberger, 1 in blue, and Matt Moore, 5 in blue.
We started with a loaded championship weekend field. Top 2 seeds are out, Carolina and Duke. Left with Virginia and Maryland. 22 minutes and change, and perhaps more, from deciding a champion. Griffin Brown, saved by Rode, using the body. He covers it up.
His hands were toast. But the reflexes to use his body is right.
I'll tell you what, gents, there's a lot going on in the sideline. Not just arguing calls with the officials, but the 2 coaching staffs actually getting into it with each other.
In what way?
Fighting and arguing over calls and who's right, who's wrong. And then, you know, you say something to the official, you spark the animosity. It's just there's tension down there. It's called smack talking.
In a year, I thought that sportsmanship has never been finer across the landscape, from teams and from coaches who are thankful to play.
Schellenberger inside roll, beating Grill. 13-11 Virginia. Connor Schellenberger has blossomed from a talented freshman and a productive player into a full-fledged superstar.
Watch how he feels the pressure. This goal is defined by understanding where the slide comes from, using your shoulder, and hitting pay dirt. He gets grilled. Schellenberger has been magnificent.
Being a Terp is no easy way is out, no cutting corners. Always outworking your opponent.
You kind of get remembered by the national championship teams here at UVA. We're a significant threat to win the national championship.
13-11 Virginia. We take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship from Capital One. Alabama on top with 82 points. Virginia has won 6 national titles in its storied history, 4 under Dom Starja. Maryland has won 3. The Terps have finished national runner-up 11 times. Both teams with 4 goals apiece in this third quarter. Lisi on Dixon. Skip pass to Moore. Thought about it. Good defense by Makar. Moore gets it off and scores! Virginia has now scored on 12 of its last 15 shots.
Paul, this shot's almost unstoppable.
100%. Another shot by a Cavalier offensive player that stings the opposite side pipe of the left-hander
McNaney leaning towards the middle, and that ball is yanked to the near side post and just paints a corner. The goalie cam will show. Look at that accuracy. That's the hardest save for a goalie to make because it's so far away from the head of his stick.
John Tillman, instant analysis off the iPad.
And he's looking at that iPad to figure out why there was no double team.
There's Weirman, face-off win. Trail check by Saladay. And the road covers it up. He's got the outlet. Schellenberger. Got him doubled in the corner, Sure and Grill. What a pass.
What a catch.
That was a quarterback to a receiver on a long fade route. Sure and Grill closed in on him. Doc's taking a goal and an assist. Virginia's largest lead was 4.
Watch the skips.
There's a man down. It's Laviano for Virginia, slow to get up. Schellenberger falling down. McNaney needed that save. And Laviano comes away with the rebound through the contact. The Virginia bench wants a flag. New shot clock. No, the shot clock did not reset.
I thought McNaney made the stop.
Yeah, it looked like he did. I think that's what the bench wants. They wanted a shot clock reset. They didn't get it. And now out of bounds, 2 on the shot clock.
Lars Tiffany really, all of these officials asking for the reset. I thought in real action, I thought McNaney made a stop there.
Let's see if we can get a better look. Makar to Molliver. That's how you beat the ride. 3:30 to go in the third. Now Bernhardt. 1 goal away from tying the record for most goals in a single NCAA tournament. Wisnowskis back to Molliver from X. Freshman from Atlanta. Wisnowskis 4 goals today, looking for 5. One-handed pass. Off target, retrieved by Bubba Fairman. Fairman changing direction. Shot bothered. Now Bernhardt from the wing, the save by Rode as he goes to his knees.
Alex Rode is as battle-tested as any goalie in the country. MVP of the championship game back in 2019.
Caused a turnover by Maryland. Dixon coughed it up. Sure plays it back. McNaney now. We come up on 2 minutes to play in the third. Maryland tied it at 11. Virginia responded with 3 straight. Cubs last led at 4-2. DeMayo against Kaloji. Impressive length by that Virginia defense. They force another turnover. Georgetown head coach Kevin Warren likened it to going to Jurassic Park. Velociraptors everywhere.
The double team to perfection. The defender on ball does a great job of turning the man, stopping the Dodgers' initial foray to the goal. And when that player turns away from the goal, no one's better in the nation with the double team than Virginia. They pinch double team, get the turnover.
Park, the help defense, the off-ball defense has come a long way.
It's night and day. We had them in February against Syracuse up in the Dome. They looked lost, confused. There were moments where they cleaned it up, but then went back to that kind of disoriented defense. But they buckled down, just like in 2019, when they won a national championship. Down the stretch, they figured it out. They've always had the pieces. You look at the individual players for Virginia. The length, the speed, it's about playing together, what you're doing away from the ball.
Dixon would tend to shoot. That one hits the pipe. Or did it? The shot clock does not reset. 17 seconds to go in the quarter. I thought that got a piece of the cage. Here's Schellenberger, 1 second. Now Maryland ball, final 10 seconds. Quarter number 3. Virginia 15 minutes away from remaining the champion. Maryland has had a 5-0 run in every game this season except today. The Terps will need a big run in that 4th quarter. 15 minutes left in regulation to decide a champion. This is the 8th NCAA tournament meeting between Maryland and Virginia. 2019 quarterfinals, Virginia rallied back from a 5-goal fourth-quarter deficit. Ryan Conrad with some late heroics, but this game remembered for this play.
Shot off the post, you see the net ripple? They call this a goal, and well,
it was the game-tying goal.
You knew at the time that it wasn't, but it was on the scoreboard. And one of the reasons why Virginia was able to come back, they had 8 comebacks in 2019. In overtime, Matt Moore off a great skip pass to the weak side of the defense. On the championship weekend, the Cavs, the comeback Cavs in 19.
One of the worst calls that we have seen in the NCAA tournament. And talking to Kyle Long yesterday, he said, hey, we remember that. It was hard to see Virginia celebrate a national championship.
John Tillman has taken the high road. He has. He did then, he did this year when they were an undefeated 3 seed and had to go to Notre Dame. Maryland has been a great fourth-quarter team, Anish, this season. They've found an extra gear. They've shown tremendous heart. They've been able to execute when they've been tired. We saw it against Notre Dame, down 3 in the fourth quarter. Look at the differential, bottom of your screen. They're a terrific fourth-quarter team. And I thought Virginia limped to the finish line in the semifinal win.
Virginia did not score in the fourth quarter against North Carolina. Maryland rallied from 12-9 down against Notre Dame in the quarters. But one big factor here, Virginia has had more tight turnarounds than Maryland this season, and Virginia trains for this. They lift Sunday. Connor Schellenberger, a man on a mission. 4 goals, 2 assists. Another 6-point game for the redshirt freshman.
He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. He checks every single box. He plays in space. He hammers it from the outside. He rolls above goal line extended on the prior goal against Grills. So Grills playing that a little bit behind, anticipating another roll. Schellenberger feels the back pressure, shoots in front that time.
What Doc Sakin told us yesterday, we look at him as a senior, even though he's a redshirt freshman. He carries himself like a senior. We look to him for answers. He's had every answer in this postseason.
The physical gifts, apparent, but the preparation, the film work. He keeps a notebook with detailed notes about defenders and schemes. This kid is all in.
Hoffman emerges with the ball out of the Tempest. There's a great line about the bullfighter in one of Hemingway's books. He says he's so young and so talented. He knew everything when he started. I've never seen him do an awkward thing, and he won't until he gets scared. And the payoff to that is he never gets scared. Bernhardt has the rebound in the 82nd shot clock. Snauskas has had the hot hand. Today, and that was a good look for DeMeo.
Playing loose too, isn't he? Big number 12 on the far side, the lefty.
Kyle Long one-handed, and this is going to be Virginia ball. Closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. Merle trying to evade Fairman. We'll play it back to Kastner. 4-goal lead matches Virginia's largest of the game. Here's Kastner all the way, kicked away. Aiken. Next up, a long-range shot. Virginia settles.
How about Kastner, huh? Upside on Kastner, Anish.
Stratosphere.
I was going to say Galaxy. 6'7", he can run, great high school basketball player.
Project 39. Tony Bennett has some interest in getting Kastner to play basketball. Bertrand offline, the backup by Schellenberger.
Bertrand, 41, so strong, left-handed. Got that body, lean in on you.
Schellenberger shaking Grill. He's been the best player on the field today. Schellenberger has his man hung up. Aviano creating traffic in front. Schellenberger probing. Grill out to greet him. A shot. And it comes back to Schellenberger. And a new shot clock. If it's saved by the goalie, if it hits the pipe, or if it goes in, we get a shot clock reset. And now this Maryland defense has to dig deep down 4. Clark, you get the sense this might be the possession.
You feel it. Both teams gassed, digging deep. The Sunday workouts for Virginia against the relentless approach of Terp Nation.
Matt Moore with a good look, and he scores! Virginia with its largest lead. It's 16-11.
Extended possessions. Wearing down the defense with body punches. Rode makes the stop on the one-handed shot. Looks like it glanced off his forehead.
Virginia's ball and Matt Moore has been so good in terms of understanding the offense. Schellenberger gets the rebound, and it leads to this here. When Virginia clicks at another level, Matt Moore comes to the party. Look at their offensive production when they explode. 5 in blue has such a big-time effect on this offense. You mentioned the 2-quarterback system. John Tillman knows it. Schellenberger, Moore, too much.
Matt Moore has had a decorated career, but it's been a bit of an up-and-down season. All up today. 3 goals, 2 assists. Cavs by 5. Virginia looks to close. Maryland looks to come back. Park, let's start with Virginia. How do they close?
That's the closer right there. Packs a nasty punch. He's only about 5'8", tough as nails. From Rocky Point, Long Island, a football player who's won the biggest face-offs in the last 15 years for the University of Virginia. It's been Petey LaSalla. When you're up 5, that's the guy you want at the dot to ice this game.
If you're Maryland, it's about Jared Bernhardt, who's played his senior season with mental clarity. There are moments where John Tillman will just look at him and nod. Jared, now's one of those times.
Bernhardt scoreless in the second half. Weirman wins the face-off. And the ball in the cross of Jared Bernhardt. And Virginia with the backup. And mistake by Maryland. Off the timeout, they win the face-off. They give it right back to Virginia. Cavaliers today have shot lights out, 16 out of 34. Maryland creating chaos in the middle of the field. Geppert's got it. Can the Terps run? They give it to Bernhardt. DeMayo's been so clutch in his career for Maryland. Bubba Fairman down the alley, lefty shot. Another one, and Virginia just quicker. That time it's Kaloji.
Anticipating runouts, the weak side defender at the goal line extended.
Rode had an empty net, thought about it. Somehow threads the pass. Moore couldn't handle it. It's knocked loose. McNaney out of the cage.
Got to give John Tillman and their staff credit for going to the 10-man ride, pulling the goalie and pressing early. Still 10 minutes to go.
We saw how much trouble Virginia had clearing in the fourth quarter against North Carolina. Bernhardt turbos toward the cage. Griffin Brown now, part of that second midfield. Led Colgate in scoring the last 4 years. Kyle Long, a factor early in this game. Looking for Wisnauskas. If he catches it, that's a goal. Instead, it's Virginia ball.
A little too much mustard. Let's see if Maryland rolls upfield in the 10-man. They do. The goal is empty. So this is man-to-man pressure all over the field.
Laviano's open. He comes back near the midfield line to make the catch. NCAA postseason coverage continues in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. The action begins Thursday at noon on ESPN. For more information on all the NCAA championships, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Boston College beat Syracuse in the women's final yesterday. Charlotte North capping the season for the ages. Virginia, it hasn't been a linear path to get to this point. If they win, we'll wonder, how did they lose to Syracuse twice? They beat Carolina 2 times, including in the semis. Dox Aikens bouncer, save, big ground ball. Virginia's been quicker to the 50-50 balls. They get another one. And a timeout by Lars Tiffany before the shot. Tiffany sensing the importance of possession and time. A new shot clock, 8:10 to play in regulation.
This was a wicked bouncer. I do like the fact that Maryland is turning up the heat. They bring their 10-man ride to the table, gets them an extra possession. Long, just too much mustard, and Wisnauskas can't make the handle. Dox rings the bell. High bouncer, kicking off this natural grass surface. Look at this. Ricochets off the post. Look at McNaney track that. You know, the Supermo is unbelievable because it kind of breaks the game down into little microseconds, and you can see the reactions of a goaltender.
Kark, Virginia is shooting 16 out of 35 on Championship Monday. Do you remember the last time you've seen this kind of shooting performance?
You look at Virginia's shooting today, I think it's just been incredible. When you look at McNaney, on the afternoon he has 10 saves, but he hasn't let any soft goals in. The precision of the Cavaliers in regards to them shooting at the pipes and stinging corners, it's been amazing. I was just in the huddle for Virginia, and offensive coordinator Sean Kerwin just said it's all about 80-second possessions. They're up by 5 right now. They're going to milk some clock, and they have the perimeter speed-type athletes to do it with Dox Aiken and Jeff Connors and Connor Schellenberger.
You see the chemistry that this Cavalier team has. In a circle, hands on shoulders. I remember that first Thursday night game when Lacrosse came back this spring. Who would have guessed that this team would still be leaning on one another at crunch time?
A journey unlike any other. An accomplishment this year to get to championship weekend. More talent in the game this year than ever before. To win a title this year, it means something. It wasn't just X's and O's and game planning. Building chemistry when you're not together virtually. So many coaches said lacrosse was the only thing that was normal this spring. The oasis. Schellenberger leading the clock. She's second is ticking away from Maryland. Down 5 in the 4th. Schellenberger. Now Maryland Digs in. Virginia. Looks like they're going to go. Aiken plays it up top. Matt Moore's shot. That one hits Laviano. He's down.
Seeing Laviano. He took
Maryland
that,
upset. They stopped the play.
He took it right in between the helmet and the bottom of his neck.
They haven't got a fucking penalty yet today.
Ooh, wow. We heard of the Maryland bench saying it was behind the play, but that was awfully scary. Laviano to the sideline, Maryland ball, 7:02 to go. Remember, in that 2019 quarterfinal, it was Virginia down 5 in the fourth quarter, and the Cavaliers rallied. Here's McNaney across the midfield line. He had a goal earlier this season. The road was in the cage. It was not going to happen there.
Bernhardt time. Number 1 in white's got to be a factor on this possession.
Bernhardt trying to get open. Kastner on DeMeo. Kastner all over DeMeo. The help from Connors. Wisnauskas. Top shelf and a flag. 5 for Logan Wisnauskas.
Quint, you can't paint it better. Look at the shot, man.
DeMeo was flirting with disaster. Dancing in a double team. He's cornered. He's down on the turf. Somehow eludes. And then liquid smoke to the top shelf as a flag flies. The door is open for the Terps.
The penalty on Virginia. So Maryland will go man up. First penalty on Virginia today. And now the Terps with an advantage facing off 6 on 5, 3 on 2 with the faceoffs. Faceoffs almost even. And Lasalo wins it for Virginia. He retreats. Errant pass. Bernhardt's got it. Beating inside. Tomas! The pendulum swings.
It's the one more. Lars Tiffany feels a Terp run. A lot like Schellenberger earlier. Ground ball immediately into a pass. Jared Bernhardt senses some disarray. Petey LaSalle tries to get the ball back to his defensive zone. It's a quick scoop. Hits the crease man. Danny Moss cashes in.
A simple exchange proves costly.
Down. Set.
Lasala and Weirman. Lasala lost his stick. Big ground ball. Lasala pops it into the air. Able to get it back. Now trapped near the sideline. Out of bounds, Maryland ball. And an avalanche of momentum behind the Terps. Less than 6 minutes to go. It's a 3-goal game. Oliver, the freshman, to Fairman! And the Terps close to 2.
The lack of a timeout hurting Virginia right now. They used it to save a possession earlier, but the momentum has swung and they're down to 1 stoppage. You see that under Virginia. They only have 1 timeout left. This second midfield line has played super lacrosse in the playoffs. Poor defensive communication, Carter.
And Oliver is the future quarterback of the Terps. He's on the second midfield, but they want him behind because that's where he's lived his entire life. Trained by the great John Zilberti, Syracuse legend in Atlanta. So skilled, so fundamental, and finds the KG vet, Fairman.
Face-offs 18-15 in favor of Virginia. It doesn't tell the whole story. Some of these recent face-offs Virginia's won. Maryland has been able to gain possession afterwards. Weirman's got it.
Big hit by Scher, 17 from the wing. The Terp bench is on fire.
Foot on the gas for Maryland. They scored 3 goals in a minute. We told you, they have had that big run in every game. A run of at least 5 straight goals. Not today. In the midst of a 3-0 run, Moliver against Saladay. John Tillman, a lot of trust in the freshman from Atlanta, number 4 in white, Eric Moliver. Fairman plays it to the wing. And whistles wide.
Defense gets tired. The splits get narrowed. Virginia trying to pack it in. Maryland's ball movement will yield some mid-range shots.
Long, a gifted passer. Rode out of the cage. Bernhardt makes the catch. He goes down. It comes back to Long. Looking for Fairman. He can't hold on. Well, they're able to get it back. Less than 20 to shoot. DeMeo down the alley. Back shot and a score! 4 straight by the Terps. And this is turning into a classic.
It's Tony time.
Wing play on the face-off. LaSala thinks he's in a good spot. He gets laid out. Turnover created by Scher, 17 in white.
Look at this move. Anthony DeMeo feels the Virginia defense closing the top side, middle of the field, so he dips it underneath. And a lot like that Notre Dame winger. Similar location on the field. He's so smooth, so crafty, with little room to operate.
Warriors got the grounder for Virginia. Can the Cavaliers clear and get an offensive possession? They had trouble in the 4th quarter against UNC. Peel goes down, flag goes up. Sawstead's got it for UVA, plays it to the wing, a shot, and a score! The 4th goal for Matt Moore. A little room to breathe for Virginia.
This is something else. This is awesome. Ben Wader's ground ball, running through traffic, securing the ball, and then finding an outlet. Flags down. It's a play on. Kate Sawstead comes up with it and dishes it. Look at the chaos that ensues.
Chaos reigns supreme for the Cavaliers. That was the word that we knew would have to be so profound if they would jump and celebrate and make another run at a national championship.
Lay down.
LaSala hounded by Weirman. And he gets it back to Rode. 3.5 left. 10-man ride by Maryland. Goalie out of the cage. Laviano over to Saladay. Jeff Connor, what a game he's had today. 3 goals and an assist. Former top 5 recruit. Has had some big games, had 4 against North Carolina earlier this year.
Maryland's got some decisions to make here defensively. Do they stay at home and play it straight up? Do they extend and pressure? And if so, when? Shot clock, game clock, score.
Park, given what you've seen from Maryland at the face-off X today, I think you can play this straight up, can't you?
I think so, too. And you have to look at the last few weeks. Weirman has been clutch in big moments. Won the biggest face-off of the season on the road against Notre Dame. You play straight up. You put him into a late possession scenario.
Doc's Aiken, the 4th quarter. Doc's time, according to Lars Tiffany. Aiken turned away. Left hand, save, McNaney. Rebound to Makar. He goes down. Maryland is going man up. Smith is down, no flag. Still just the one on the field. So a man-up opportunity coming for Maryland. Less than 2 minutes to go in regulation. Terps got to get it across the midfield line if they are to clear. They just do. Kaufman is staring to that sideline.
It's a freebie here for Bernhardt with the flag down.
Bernhardt accelerates. Top side. An extra man opportunity for Maryland. Down 2. 96 seconds to go in regulation.
Blue, 5, hold, 30 seconds.
McNaney, top of his arc. Actually, he's out of the crease, resets at the last second. Takes that one off the chest.
Hey, you're going to release 2 wrists.
Here's the foul. Makar so strong. Taken down with a hold with possession.
6 on 5 for the next 30 seconds.
Grayson, you're ready to freaking sprint down and go get the ball, man.
Griffin Brown
Just tuck and run, man. You gotta
plays it to Fairman. 1:20 to go. Maltz. Back up to Wisnauskas. 11 seconds left on the man up.
Yep, I got it. Sir, he's gonna sprint behind you.
Wisnauskas as Virginia is back to even strength. Fairman shot blocked. Kaloji paid the price. Maryland still has it. Less than a minute to go. Terps down 2. Wisnauskas, his shot blocked. It'll be Maryland ball. 42 seconds to go. And Lars Tiffany ran all the way out to the restraining area on the other side of the field to get the timeout call. This has been one of the most fun national championship games we've seen.
For Lars Tiffany, a late stand starts with defenders who are willing to pay the price. Look at him sell out on the perimeter to impact a shot. I mean, the courage. We've seen it from Virginia back in 2019 and today. Their approach is to get to the hands of shooters at the last second, to give their goalie any kind of advantage or throw the shot off the mark. Their closeouts, their physicality, their length, their reach.
Virginia goes over the defensive game plan. Maryland, Quint, needs 2 goals in 42 seconds.
Well, Jared Bernhardt's been your guy all season. Be shocked if he doesn't win the Tuaraton Trophy. He's got 5 points. He's been an instant double team creator all season long. You'd think that Bob Benson, their offensive coordinator, would have the ball on his stick, He'll draw the double. Now, if you're Virginia, are you going to play zone here? Or are you going to play man? They have a zone.
Clark.
Run this way, right?
It's in the huddle, and Bobby Benson, the offensive coordinator, he knows that Virginia might throw a zone at them. If they go man, look for Bernhardt to start with the ball, and they'll set a pick in terms of getting him that long dodge where he's been so successful throughout the course of the year and his career. But if they're in the zone, Wisnauskas will be a key factor in terms of getting some pressure on this Virginia defense. He's been incredible, spraying it from downtown.
Bernhardt, predominant right-handed player. One thing we haven't seen from him today is a left-handed drive up the left side for that turn-away, fade-away jump shot right-handed. I think it's there if he wants it.
Here's Bernhardt. There's the pick. Bernhardt, left hand, Road, the save! Now Virginia's got it clear. They'll fire one downfield on Cage, whose ball? It'll belong to Maryland. 26 seconds to go. McNaney to Puglisi, less than 20 seconds. Molliver has long. DeMeo steps in and scores! They're not dead yet! Tony time!
Tell you, there's no quit in this group. A masterful, absolutely masterful clear by Maryland. They don't waste any time. Diagonal pass up the field. They continue to share it and not panic.
Bernhardt is on the wing of the faceoff, and a timeout by John Tillman. So before the timeout, Jared Bernhardt and Kyle Long, two short sticks on the faceoff wings. Maryland will lead offense off the faceoff. Goals today. It ties the highest scoring NCAA championship game ever. 1975 was a good year for Maryland. Frank Urso and the Terps won a title that season.
Our wings are Kyle and Jared.
It was a long drought after that until 2017. Maryland broke through, beating Ohio State in the final. Virginia looking to keep the title in Charlottesville. Not quite back-to-back. We didn't have a champion last year, but last repeat champion Duke, 2013-2014. Park.
Down in the huddle, and John Tillman and staff preparing for this face-off. Jared Bernhardt will be on a wing. Kyle Long will be on a wing. All offense. Petey LaSalla, though, if you watch him, he's really comfortable in terms of putting it out in front. In this case, you would like to have a face-off guy, though, that could also kick it back in their defensive zone and burn some more clock. So they have both scenarios in terms of how they're crashing the wings with LaSalla in front and behind.
Grayson Saladay on the near side wing for Virginia. Jared Connors and Jared Bernhardt. The presumptive Tewaaraton winner and the midfielder of the year at the top of your screen. Weirman punches it ahead, a chance for Maryland. Weirman all the way, shoots, save, Road! Virginia's got it! The King's name remains a tower of strength. The crown stays with Virginia. One of the greatest championship games ever played, and one of the greatest endings on Championship Monday.
Luke Weirman still down on the turf, heroically pushing that face-off forward. But Alex Rode with the body stop. And this one ran out of time. Could have played this one all day, and I think it would have been a one-goal margin.
A galaxy of stars on this field. Players for an age. A game for all time, Kirk.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Lacrosse, for giving us 2021. Coach Tiffany, that was amazing. You won a national title in 2019 behind Alex Rode. He did it again. What does he mean to this team?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Rode is, he is a fantastic goalie every day. The rest of the country just gets to see it mostly in April and May. He steps up big. Now, you know, it's funny, I just hugged him. He's like, we won a national championship and I sucked. I was like, no, you were solid. He wants to make 15 to 20 saves a game, and he thinks he should make more saves. But they're too talented. I'm like, Maryland, it just brings so much good heat. What an incredible job by Matt Moore stepping up here today. You know, Connor Schellenberger is showing he can dictate an offense and run an offense from behind the goal, sweep up top. You know, the amount of offense we scored today. It's Coach Kerwin. He's an incredible offense coordinator.
Let's talk about that offense, because Maryland was holding teams under 10 goals per game, and you scored 17. What specifically did you see on tape that you thought you could capitalize?
Well, again, we were surprised about how physical they were early. And so our first couple goals were off of PD transition. And so we got to get longer dodges. We got to get outside the box and get some running starts before they get their hands on us, because they're so strong in this short 60 minutes. And then, and just with our invert dodging, see if we could get a little more space before, because we're kind of used to maybe just a quick little move and get our hands free, and that wasn't working today. So Sean Kerwin got them expanded, and then took advantage of where their short sticks were with cutters by Peyton Cormier, and then obviously Schellenberger and Matt Moore, you know, are two guys, and we know how good McCarr and Grill are, but they stepped up huge today.
I saw you pregame during the anthem. You had a tear in your eye. Winning a national championship is one thing. Winning another national championship on Memorial Day. Describe those emotions.
Yeah, they really are, because as I talked about the other day, that lacrosse is an incredible preparation for life, and we learned that from the Native Americans. I learned that from the Onondaga people. And, you know, and here we are on Memorial Day. The Native Americans learned it to be hunters, to be better men, but also warriors. And here we are celebrating the warriors who didn't come home, right? And it's amazing that the courage of all those people who did that for us, so we can talk about lacrosse games and have this fantastic 17-16 game. And I'm just moved by that. It's incredible, like, how fortunate we are to have our armed services and all the men and women who protect us.
National champions again. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Quint, Virginia's postseason began after a 3-week layoff. They finished the regular season at 3 weeks until their first NCAA tournament game. Trailed in the fourth quarter against Bryant. Came back to win. Blew out Georgetown, survived North Carolina, and they survived Maryland. This is how it ended. Maryland needing a goal to tie.
Virginia's defense stayed at home. Weirman, who was spectacular in the second half, takes that shot from about 7 yards, and Alex Rode makes the body stop. Two-time NCAA champion. He's got 2 rings now. Just holds his ground and makes a late reaction. And Virginia cleans it up.
You think of the great goalies to come through Virginia. Kip Turner, who's on staff. Adam Gittleman, Tillman Johnson. All of them won championships. Alex Rode has won 2.
Yeah, Rodney Ruhlman, Peter Sheehan came close. Undefeated season, no more. An incredible year for Maryland, kings of the Big Ten. who took every punch in this tournament. They went out to Notre Dame, made no complaints, got it done. Superb win in the semis. They just run out of time today.
They got the look. Luke Weirman had the shot.
We've seen the joy, we've seen the emotion this year. There's been no year like this, Anish, for these young athletes. And for every team to get through this season, those lessons, the discipline, the sacrifice, dealing with isolation, trying to form relationships. If you made it through this season, you're set for life.
Our Capital One player of the game, Connor Schellenberger. He was magical in this NCAA tournament. He had a super regular season, took it to another level when the games mattered more. He was the best freshman in the country, redshirt freshman and all, top scoring freshman in Division I. And in the postseason, Quint, he was the best player on the field in every game.
Lars Tiffany always talks about the race to improve. And I look at the play of Connor Schellenberger in the playoffs as a supremely talented young man who continued to take positive steps to evolve his game and to go from being a really great player to being a game dominator.
So the championship trophy will stay in Charlottesville. Heartbreak for Maryland under John Tillman. This is the 5th Memorial Day loss. They've been in this championship game 6 times and one final measure of sportsmanship.
Well, the ability to shake hands, it's been a rarity this year. It's just the first real handshake we've seen all season to close it out.
There's been a lot of gratitude for this season, having a season, having championship weekend. And after not having any of this last year, what a game, Quint, to cap the season.
An amazing year. Jared Bernhardt and the Terps just ran out of time here in Connecticut.
Our final score from Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut. Virginia 17, Maryland 16, the Cavaliers. National champions in 2021, just like they were in 2019. It came down to the final shots. We'll be talking about this one for a long time. A season unlike any other, and a conclusion for the ages. Virginia still reigns in college lacrosse. Highly questionable is next.